Hi, welcome to Phi Chi Theta's Beyond the Resume, Episode 4. My name is Carter Buck, and today I'm with Mara Rayburg. Mara is a junior marketing major and media production and analysis minor. This is her third semester in PCT, and she's been a part of the marketing committee, and she's now the active marketing chair. Outside of Fisher, she's on the women's club lacrosse team, and she is also an OSU athletic student video production assistant. This past summer, Mara interned with MedExpress as a marketing intern. So, welcome, Mara.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, Carter?
I'm great. Thank you for joining me today. So let's get into your internship with MedExpress. What do you do for them? Just give me some
And
takeaways.
I think it was really hard for a lot of companies to offer internships. So there was kind of a scarcity in terms of amount of internships available. So I was kind of scouring the market all spring, kind of looking for opportunities. And just when I was about to give up, I found an internship posting in June for MedExpress Urgent Care was seeking a marketing intern. So they were able to take on a marketing intern. I interviewed, I got the position, and I started in July. From July through August, I worked full time, 40-hour weeks, kind of assisting the marketing and communications teams with various tasks. I've kind of dabbled in blog writing, website authoring, stuff like that. And then now I'm working part time throughout the semester, doing the same kinds of tasks. And it's been really cool, kind of taking a back seat and seeing, the whole healthcare perspective and how an urgent care clinic in a company such as MedExpress is kind of responding to COVID-19.
So how does that like long term? What are you trying to do with marketing?
Totally. So I've kind of been split, as of, my entire life I've wanted to do content creation. I thought that was kind of, my calling. I'm really passionate for video editing and different types of, creative content creation. And that was ultimately my goal with marketing. And I still think, long term, that probably is my goal. I think I've narrowed it down that I want to be in the healthcare industry. So this experience with MedExpress has been super beneficial, and this year I'm hoping to get some more experience in another internship with a healthcare provider or type of something in the industry.
Well, that's great to hear, and I'm glad it was a good experience for you. So alongside that video production, I know that you had some experience in high school and just a little bit in your early college with some like at home video production. So can you talk a little bit about that and what you have done?
Totally, yeah. So in high school, I was really fortunate. My At my high school, we were partnered with a community television channel. So our there was a TV studio, and we had a lot of equipment through this government run community television channel in the basement of our high school. Shout out PTCT 7. And so we were very fortunate to have a lot of this equipment and have a fully functioning TV studio to put out content. So a lot of the experience that I've gotten has been from high school, and I took 3 years of broadcasting classes with different projects, assigned different projects. Some of my favorite projects were I did a remake of the Office theme role, as well as the Friends intro, and I did a few other projects. My biggest passion project was probably we did a drunk driving simulation. I don't know if anyone's familiar with mock crash simulations, but my senior year of high school, I really poured my heart and soul into that project. It was a drunk driving simulation, and I created a whole video for that. It's garnered around 6,000 views on YouTube. I worked on that for the entirety of my senior year alongside some of my really good friends. So that was kind of my thing in high school. And when I came to college, I realized I wanted to do that in college, and I initially came as a film major to Ohio State, but I changed first semester because I kind of I realized I could use this, creative talent that I had towards a common business goal. And I thought that was better suited for my interests. So now I'm a marketing major, and, a lot of this experience and at home stuff that I've done in high school has transferred into college. Me being the marketing chair for PCT and being able to create our recruitment videos, different teasers for our social media and stuff like that.
Okay, so with that crash production, that's really interesting to me. Um, I'm assuming that's all digital design, right?
So it's really weird to explain if your high school had never done it. Are you familiar with this kind of stuff?
I'm not.
Okay, so basically, every 2 years, my high school would put on. It was almost like a theatrical type thing. So they would bring in impounded cars, crashed cars, like two or three of them, set them up as if a car crash had happened in our school parking lot, And it was kind of a simulation for, to curb drinking and drunk driving at prom. So it happened right before prom in the spring. And so everyone would dress up in like their prom dresses and stuff. And a whole like makeup team would come in. There was a whole storyline of like what happened. And, there was like blood and stuff everywhere. And the juniors and seniors would watch this crash kind of take place in live setting. So basically my job, I also was a part of the crash. I was in it. There were 12 people in it. So the pre-video was basically everything leading up to the crash. What was going on. We were at an after party and then, someone had to leave and it kind of showed how the three different cars collided. And then, the sirens start blaring, all the juniors and seniors walk outside, you hear a 911 call and you kind of watch, these people react. So the dead bodies being revealed, the cops coming on scene. We had someone get life lighted. There was a hearse. We had someone, two of the dead bodies were taken by hearse. Someone got paralyzed and was taken by lifeline. It's like this whole scene. And then once that's over, you go back, all the students go back inside and watch a post video, which is kind of like the implications of the crash and how it affected everyone's lives.
Oh, so it's pretty intense.
It's really
That's
intense.
high quality.
Yeah, it was like a huge passion thing for me. My sophomore year, it was put on, and some of my good friends were seniors and were super involved in the production of it. And after that, it had really touched me and my one friend. So we kind of took it, as our project, and we decided that was what we were going to do. So we started crafting it at the end of junior year and into senior year, and there was a lot of planning that went into it. And it sounds kind of weird, but it really emotionally wrecks you. Like I'm not one to cry pretty easily, and the tears were flowing that day. And I think, it sounds like kind of artificial, but when you're acting in it and when you're watching it, it feels so real.
I understand that. I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
said it's public. Where can we find it?
It's on YouTube. Yeah. I had it linked in my Twitter profile. I don't know if I do anymore, but it's on YouTube. If you just search Peters Township mock crash 2018, it'll pop up. It's about a 20-minute video. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Definitely.
And then up next, I'd love to touch on your lacrosse experience. That's incredible that you're on the women's club team here. And I do have very brief lacrosse experience. I played for 1 year in high school, my senior year.
Uh-huh.
So just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Carter is one of four members of PCT Lax Bros. So yeah, a few of us are passionate about lacrosse, and we'll just go to the field and throw around sometimes to release some stress. But I started playing lacrosse. I've always been involved in sports, but I started playing lacrosse because it was a new thing, and my neighbor was going out for the team, and I wanted to hang out with her, and I thought, why not try lacrosse? And I started in fourth grade. I really started enjoying it. I started playing club in seventh grade, so that entailed traveling across the Northeast, playing a bunch of teams from around the country that would come to these tournaments. And side note, do you say tournament or tournament, Carter?
Tournament.
Oh, it's tournament. You're wrong. But so all these teams would come from around the country to play us, and I played through junior year. And if you wanted to get recruited to play in college, you kind of had to play on a club team. And so I quit my junior year because I realized I didn't want to play varsity in college. I knew I kind of wanted to keep up with it for a club team. But the one memory I have is, so whenever you were committed to a college, whether it be verbally or officially committed, you would wear this green armband. So when you were playing and college coaches were recruiting, they knew you were off limits. So we walked out on the field, and for someone like me who was still super competitive, still super into lacrosse, but I wasn't trying to play in college, kind of seeing these green armbands was really intimidating. And we walked out, and when I tell you a sea of green armbands, like there were probably two girls in the like 11 or 12 man lineup that didn't have green armbands. And so sometimes you ask them, and it's like a D2 or D3 school, and you're like, okay. I'd asked the girl that I was defending, I said, where are you committed? She said, I'm going to Duke. And I
Oh,
said,
of course.
oh, oh, that's cool. Like, how about, your friends, where are they going? Oh yeah, she's UNC, Chapel Hill, she's Syracuse, literally all like the best lacrosse teams around.
I was just gonna say, for anyone that doesn't know, these are the top schools.
Yeah, the best lacrosse teams around the country. And so I just sat there, and me and my friends looked at each other, and we were like, wow, we're in for a treat with this game. And I mean, we kept up with them for a little bit, but I mean, these girls knew how to play. And so it was really humbling, but it was really funny. I remember, asking this girl, where are you going? Expecting her to say like a smaller school or something. She was like, no, going to Duke. And I said, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, so I came to Ohio State, tried out for the club team. and I still get that competitive edge, and I still get the opportunity to compete, on a lesser level than the varsity team. So we still see other colleges we play, Michigan State's club team, Dayton's club team, Ohio University, Purdue, Pitt. We'll play a bunch of these teams. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny you mentioned the green band. So we didn't do anything like that when I played,
Uh-huh.
but I in the South at least, it's pretty interesting that lacrosse has a pretty large skill gap where you have
Uh-huh.
the people that are really good, and
Definitely.
then there are also people in high school like me that had just picked it up. And I had a friend that he's now at St. Joe's. Shout out Matt Bomer, attackman. Um, and it's funny because like someone that's never played lacrosse before going up against a D1 starter and
For
I think
sure.
now a captain.
Uh-huh.
And we have some good stories of like on clears, we used to just rib each other as we'd run on clears.
Uh-huh.
There's one time where I didn't see him coming, and we'd always hit each other even if we didn't have the ball, just for fun. And
Totally.
I normally would see it coming, it's not that bad. And one time he crushed me on the blind side and decleated me, which
Yeah.
like a cartoon,
Oh,
both cleats popped off.
that has happened once, and that's hilarious that you bring that up. No, that's so funny. Like when you're going up against someone that you're like, okay, this person's obviously, so much better than me. You're like, all right, well, let's
Oh
just
yeah.
shot. And because you can't look bad. I mean, the worst thing that's gonna happen is they look bad. Um,
Yeah, and I would talk so much trash.
Yeah, exactly. But the one time freshman year lacrosse, I was trying out and I was trying to make varsity, and we had indoor tryouts because it was snowing. Pittsburgh weather is kind of unpredictable sometimes, but me and this girl were both going for a ground ball, and she was on the varsity team, and I was obviously trying to prove myself, and I'm muscling up against her for this ground ball. And in girls lacrosse, if you aren't familiar, it's not very aggressive. It's not like boys lacrosse. You can't hit each other. Um, and this girl knocks me out, like decleats me. We're inside on like a gym floor. I go flying, little freshman me. My both of my cleats come off. I was petrified, but I also didn't know where I was for a few seconds.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, so lesson learned. You gotta either be a
Yeah,
little
you gotta
quicker with
watch the
your
big
balls or
dogs.
watch out. Yeah.
Yeah, I should clarify, he didn't mean to hit me that hard. He
Uh-huh.
thought I saw it coming, but
Obviously,
I
you never
yeah, I wasn't looking.
totally.
That's fun though. I wish I would've picked up lacrosse way earlier.
Uh-huh.
Definitely
It's
the most
moving,
fun sport I've ever
moving
played.
down south more. It's traditionally a more like northeastern type thing, and I think
Yeah,
it's moving down south.
we're picking it up.
Uh-huh.
Then also on my sheet, you put mini golf league and capture the flag.
Totally.
So, give me some background there. I don't know what that means.
Definitely, yeah. So I am a very competitive person, and I think I derive a lot of joy from competing, even if it's something as stupid. It could be as serious as like an organized sport like lacrosse, or as stupid as a mini golf league. My friend Matt put together this mini golf league when we all went to college. This past summer was the third season that we had it, and it was basically a way to keep all his friends in touch when we went to school. So we'd come back for the summers, and it gave us a reason to kind of see each other. And this mini golf league's around 30 people. There's a Twitter account. It's gotten bigger and bigger and more serious as the years have gone on. But when I say it's serious, there is an algorithm how scores are calculated. There's four majors, I believe, 4 or 5 majors. There's obviously the U.S. Open, and different stuff like that, PGA Tour. And so, or it's called the PGA Tour of Mini Golf, but there's all these different majors. And then there are also, so the majors are worth double the amount of points. So obviously you want to perform better at majors. And then there's other events, the Dean Norris Classic after Dean Norris, who plays the DEA agent. Why am I blanking on his name? The DEA agent from Breaking Bad. He during a cameo for my friend's birthday shouted out the PGA Tour mini golf. So we had to name a one of the events after him. There's the Dole Pineapple Classic, just a bunch of random stuff, and we kind of go around to the courses in the greater Pittsburgh area, and it's a big thing. It's a lot of fun. There's a Twitter account, and after every event, the winner gets interviewed. Second and third place, obviously get interviewed too about how they could have done better, and there's playoffs at the end of the year, and it's really this unique thing. It's really awesome because all my friends kind of had the same competitive nature.
And how many wins do you have?
Uh, I don't want to talk about that. We're at a big fat zero.
That is unfortunate.
Trying to recover. This year, with playing through the adversity of having to wear a mask, was really tough.
That
So
is hindering.
it's very hindering, especially something about wearing a mask, and restricting the breathing, and it just affects the wrist movement when
It
you're
affects your putting stroke, which
totally.
is pretty important in mini golf.
Definitely. And I'm a lefty too. So So I think that I kind of, I think lefties and mini golf, I feel like a lot of mini golf courses are designed for righties because that's just the
Oh,
majority. So I've faced a little bit of adversity with that too, but obviously I haven't persevered yet because I haven't won. Um, but I'm trying to be a staple for the young women golfers out there, the mini golfers, trying to make it in the world, just trying to make it against these men.
hey, you'll get your moment. As Fitz would say, he would reference Nacho Libre right now and get your moment in the shining sun.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it.
All right, and then also capture the flag. Give me some background on that.
Oh yeah. So one day it was in the summer. It was after my senior year of high school. I was bored and I thought, I want to play capture the flag. I haven't played capture the flag since I was little, and um, so I texted in, kid you not, every group message that I was in. I ran cross country, so I texted in this 100 kid cross country group message. I played lacrosse. I texted in my lacrosse group message. Any group project I had ever had, texted in all those group me's, any friend group message I had, and I said, we're playing capture the flag tonight. Be at the high school, 8:30. Bring a red shirt and a white shirt. Tell all your friends if you want to play capture the flag, show up at the stadium, and we'll divide teams and we'll play. My friend Paul and I had run to Five Below. We bought two inflatable um, hot sauce things. They were like rafts, pool rafts. We obviously needed a big flag because there were so many people, and it was throughout the entire campus of my high school. So it was a massive map, and I sent out the map. I made boundaries and stuff. We brought the inflatable giant hot sauce things, and they were pool rafts, and those were the flags. And I tell you, when I rolled up to about 100 kids standing on our high school turf, my jaw dropped. That was not at all the turnout I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like 20 to 30 kids that I had confirmed were coming. There were so many kids there. People had brought their siblings. It was amazing. And so we split up the teams. I think we did like alumni, like Peters Township High School alumni versus people who were still in high school. And so like there was the red team versus the white team, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of crazy, playing with 100 kids, a giant game of capture the flag. So 10 out of 10 would recommend.
So what I'm hearing here is next year's PCT fundraiser, we open it up and it's campus wide.
Campus wide capture the flag would be
We could
absolutely
get a
incredible.
thousand people.
Totally. And the amount of people that have this itching desire that they don't realize is deep within them to play capture the flag is it's unreal. I think so many people, if you were to bring it up to them, they would want to play because it's just one of those
It's
childhood
primal.
games. Yeah, it is primal. It's a primal need to play capture the flag.
There we go. All right, and then we're gonna move on to your OSU athletics video production.
Mhm.
So as you may know, the Ohio State football hype video just came out today.
Totally.
It was incredible.
Uh-huh.
Please tell me you have something to do with that.
So unfortunately, so it's that kind of stuff has been halted since the other sports have not really happened. So I haven't worked this year yet.
Oh,
Um,
darn.
those the football, I will say football is the crown jewel. So, I started in January of last year. A PCT member, an alumni, Lewis Mackey, actually had set me up with the position because he had done stuff before, and you basically have to work your way up to football. So they have the cream of the crop operating the cameras and working graphics and creating those videos
So
for
there's a
football.
chance one day.
Maybe. I think some of the assignments I've been assigned to, like women's gymnastics, tennis, just smaller stuff now. COVID kind of threw a wrench in that. I'm hoping to work back up. That actually is my goal, is to get to work a football game one day, because I think that would be awesome, and would just be something really cool to say that I've done.
Yeah, those are the best videos ever.
The hype
We
video is
have an
really
amazing
cool.
team.
Yeah, and I really think a lot of the coaches and stuff are super animated, which Ryan Day and it really gets the crowd moving.
Yeah, and you have Coach Marati going
Yeah,
crazy the whole time.
for sure. Yeah.
That's so cool. So you've done gymnastics and tennis, you said?
So I dabbled in tennis. I became the biggest OSU women's gymnastics groupie. Like, it is so fun watching the gymnastics matches because I mean, I can't even touch my toes. So watching people like flip and land on these beams is just yeah, I don't know if I'm mistaking the name, but yeah, the balance beam. It's just absolutely nuts. And there's just these girls are so strong. You don't realize how strong they are. I've done wrestling, I've done women's gymnastics, I've done anything that's in the Cavelli Center. I've done men and women's volleyball. And you can kind of sign up for different events that you want to cover. And so anything that's in the Cavelli Center. And then the next step from there is moving up to the Schottenstein Center, which, the equivalent of the Schottenstein is hockey and basketball. And then the cream of the crop, if you're doing good work, they'll have you do football.
I'm surprised that seems somewhat easy to get to hockey and
Hmm.
basketball.
Yeah,
'Cause those
yeah,
are not jokes of a team. We're pretty good at both of those.
totally. And when you see schmucks like me operating the camera, no, I'm kidding. Um, I mean, I think the people that really get into the position, you can tell when they're super passionate about it, when they really get into it. And I don't I some people really like operating cameras. So normally it's a multi-camera shoot, so some are set, and then there's some handhelds, and it takes a special type of person to work the handheld cameras. I personally like working in the control room. So there's a bunch of different positions. You can either work replay, or I like doing the graphics. So you know how when you're on the Jumbotron and they sometimes will troll people, or there's like the
Oh,
emoji
yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. At the Cavelli Center, that's me behind there, kind of trolling people in the audience. So the people on camera will get a shot of someone, and then we toss a graphic up on top of it. So it's always keeping things interesting, and it also, like, you kind of get your own sense of creativity and kind of what you like to do with that. So there's a bunch of different positions that you could work on, and every day is different. So
That sounds really fun.
yeah, it's really awesome.
And I'm disappointed I haven't actually gotten out to Cavelli yet.
It's a hike. It's a hike. When people say Ohio State's campus is big, it's very far.
Yeah, it
Normally,
is
like,
pretty
I
far.
would I would get upset because sometimes the games would end after the buses were done running on the weekend. So I would have to make this 35-minute walk back to my dorm after. Some days when it was super cold, I just bit the bullet and I Ubered. But it's pretty far. But the events, I think I saw Dewey and Jeremy Schatz at a volleyball game last year. But if you can get out there, it's those type of events. I mean, even wrestling fills up a ton. The whole place is filled for wrestling.
Yeah, I wish I would've gone to more of the small sports. I got into club hockey
Uh-huh.
last year because Declan Rooney, a
Yeah,
member, is the goalie, and we had the best time sitting behind the goal and chirping the other team. We had so much fun. It was up there with football, actually.
totally. I mean,
So I wish I would've gotten out to more of them.
when you can get that involved, I think it is a game changer. When you can kind of get involved in, like, the small student section that'll come to some of the Convelli Center events. Obviously those are the people we're trying to put on the jumbotron. That's the action we want. So those
Yeah,
kids have a lot of fun at those games.
and the
Um,
athletes would come over. They recognize
yeah,
a small crowd, they come
exactly.
over and say hi.
But the Blocko does a good job kind of giving different people, or getting different people at each event. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of fun going to the small events too. And I mean, I think we're all guilty of only going to the bigger basketball, football events, but even stuff is like club hockey. Our club hockey team is really good.
Yeah,
And so
national champions.
exactly, Declan kind of gives you a reason to go out there and watch them. But I mean, when you're there, you're like, oh, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to talk a little bit about your pledge experience too. So I think you pledged 1 semester before me, right?
Yes. So I
You're,
play.
new?
Yeah, I'm a Mew. Yep. I play.
Okay, so I'm a new.
Yeah. So I pledged spring of my freshman year, so second semester. I actually had I knew a member, Alyssa Barron, who was pledging in the fall, and she kind of, turned me on to PCT, and I rushed and pledged, and the rest is history. But so during pledging, there's some funny stories, and actually during pledging, it was pretty unfortunate. I tore my ACL in a club lacrosse game, so I rolled up to a few coffee chats on crutches. So that was super interesting, trying to navigate that as a freshman and pledging on crutches. But yeah, I mean, pledging definitely, it's a unique experience, and everyone kind of experiences it differently.
Yeah, do you have any of the typical pledge moments where you forget to dress in business casual on Thursday and you panic, even though it's really not a big deal, or
Totally.
anything like that?
Well, a lot of the things about dress that I remember is, like, it was in the winter, and everyone knows the winters in Ohio are rough. And obviously, business casual shoes and business professional shoes are not all terrain.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
I'd be walking around in the snow in my flats, and my feet would be frozen by the time I'd get to class. So other than those struggles, I mean, I do have a few funny coffee chat stories. The one that instantly comes to mind, I'm sorry, Fitz, I got to do it to you. Patrick Fitz, this actually wasn't when I was pledging. This was when I was already a member. Patrick Fitz was pledging, but I still think it qualifies. So we're sitting there and we're having a conversation. And during our coffee chat, I just met Patrick, and we're sitting at Roar Cafe. And I'm the type of person. If you guys could see me right now, I'm moving my hands a lot. I talk with my hands, and I'm mid telling a story, and he goes, "Hey, can I ask you something? And you have to promise not to get offended."
Oh man.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I can't wait. Like, what is this going to be? And I said, "Yeah, of course. Like, go ahead." And he said, "Do you have really big hands?"
Oh my god.
Really, it's really funny he brought that up because I do have I've it's not even that I have big hands, I have really long fingers. I've often been told that I'd be a really good piano player. I've never played the piano, but I mean, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And I played basketball for a little bit, but I think that's also a missed opportunity. But I have really big hands for some reason. And my friends in high school would always make fun of me about it. And so they would always like send me pictures of like extra large gloves or just stuff like that. And so, no one in college had brought it up to me yet. And so when Fitz said that, I burst out laughing. And I think immediately as it left his mouth, he was ashamed and was so upset that he had said it. And I just, I keep reassuring him, I'm not offended. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, so that's a very funny coffee chat story.
Fitz was just on top of the game.
Totally, totally.
So mine was when I was pledging, and like most pledges, I was like nervous to meet the president because at
Uh-huh.
the time, and it was Ryan Ashdown at the time, I didn't realize that the president is just another normal person.
Totally, yeah.
So my second week of pledging, my class, we were allowed to go to Chicago for professional retreat, and we drive there in like carpools. And my car was Ryan Ashdown, Albert B, Lewis Mackey, and JT Daniel.
So all seniors and JT.
Yes, and I was panicked. They put me in the middle seat of Ashdown's little Civic for like 7 hours, and I was definitely taller than both JT and Albert. And oh man, the first hour was Lewis just grilling me with questions,
That's very typical of Lewis. And he
and
has
it
some
was like the most stressful hour of my life.
and they're just trying to mess with you. They don't like it's not a
Oh,
test.
yeah,
Yeah, you didn't realize that at the time, but
and then it turned into be like when people ask one of my favorite memories from PCT, it was that car ride.
for sure. It's like
That's
the
what got me, like,
stuff like
so plugged into PCT where I loved that car ride. We had so much fun.
that's such a good group of guys too to be in that car with. I mean, that's a great you got a lot of different, people there. And I really I mean, I would pay to be in that car. Those would be some great conversations.
It was awesome. We got into Chicago really early, and we went to see the Indians play the White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the Tribe got embarrassed, but, it was still a lot of fun because we were there. We were the first group there, so we spent a lot of time in the city before everyone else caught up.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, that was my pledge moment, terrified to meet everyone.
That's so funny. I feel like we all go through that. And even like with your pledge educator, mine was Ruby, yours was Ruby as well.
Yep.
And now the pledge educator is Steph, and I feel like all the pledges are terrified of the pledge educator.
Yeah.
I was terrified of Ruby, and now we're good friends, and it's so funny. Even the recruitment chair, I was terrified of Julia Grant at the time. She was our
Yeah,
recruitment,
yeah.
and a lot of the pledges have told me they're scared of Shirley, and it just makes me laugh knowing them all on a personal level because we're all just real people.
It's just
And
people that signed up for a job and got elected.
exactly, and we all super passionate about it, but I think people kind of think we're these uber professional, which we're very professional, but we also are very personable. So
Yeah, so I always love hearing those stories, especially about Fitz.
oh, Fitz, what a guy.
And then before we wrap up, I have some quick questions for you.
All right, let me add it.
So, the first one is if you could teach any class at Ohio State and it can truly be about anything, what would it be?
Yeah, this is
And
a
who would be your TA?
who would be my TA?
Both those questions.
Okay, so I could pick my TA quickly, and that's Ryan Menchie for sure. The kid knows something about everything.
Okay.
That kid would be able to assist, any one of my classes. I'm assuming like I don't know, your grounds for TA, but I think
Well, I
um
was thinking celebrity, so Menchie should be pretty honored.
yeah, I mean, Menchie's my right hand dude, but the I think something that would be super interesting. And Carter and I were actually talking about this earlier. I think teaching a kind of literature class on a popular culture thing like a TV show or a movie would be really cool. There's actually a class Ohio State offers on Game of Thrones that I'm trying to wiggle my way into. So I think teaching a class like that because I'm super interested in video and stuff. So being able to analyze the symbolism of the storyline, but also the camera angles. So like a class on Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, a different movie. I think that'd be super cool.
What would be your show or movie?
I think there's a lot of this is kind of a basic answer, but there's a lot to dive into with Breaking Bad, and I think that's a crowd pleaser. So I think, not only do I want to teach an interesting class, but I want to teach a class that people would take. And so I think Breaking Bad, a literature approach to Breaking Bad would be cool, kind of diving into the headspace of the creators. And
I
with me
like it.
by my side, of course.
Yeah, that'd be fun. The next one's a little bit quicker, but would you rather be hot all the time or cold all the time, and you can't really do anything to fix it?
That's really tough. I hate sweating, and I I hate sweating, so I would have to say cold for that reason. There's really no method to my madness. I mean, being in Pittsburgh too, I'm just used to it.
Okay, that's fair. Up next, who would you have narrate your whole life? And you have to listen to them do it too. So it'd be like live commentary.
This is really tough. Um, I think I really don't know for this one. I mean, my instant answer is Morgan Freeman.
Mhm.
Like that man just has the voice of God.
It's
And
true.
so I think kind of hearing that, that's a really basic answer. I wish I could come up with something better for you, but I'm telling you, if I'm sitting there brushing my teeth and Morgan Freeman's, commenting on how I'm singing the ABCs in my head as I do it, that would just be unbeatable.
See, I just don't think I could take myself that seriously all the time. Because like I feel like if I'm listening to him, I have to take it
True.
seriously.
This is fair. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all business with Morgan Freeman. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't think of another answer right now. You put me on the spot,
I'm
but
taking Jake Gyllenhaal. Because no matter what I'm doing, I think he can make it hilarious. And I'll just walk around laughing all day.
I agree. But I also have a hot take that Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Gosling are all the same person.
Okay, I can't talk to Ryan Gosling, but Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm pretty sure they are the same person.
No, they're all the same in my head.
Yeah.
They're really all like they're all the same person.
Yeah. I mean, has anyone seen them all in the room at the same time?
Reynolds would be. I changed my answer. Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Deadpool commentating your life. Can you imagine?
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, totally.
I would love it. Okay, this is gonna be building off your pledge experience, but do you have your typical OSU freshman moment? What'd you do?
I'm
Or
trying to think of something
dumb
specific.
thought or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something specific because I definitely got here. I think the one thing that stuck out to me is a lot of people. I went to public high school, and a lot of people when I got here all had gone to kind of private schools. But another thing was everyone all knew all the Columbus schools and like the Olentangis and the Dublins, and I had no idea what those were. I was like, "What the heck is an Olentangy?" Um, and so that's one. Another thing is I lived in Dracut Tower, which is right behind the infamous clock tower, and everyone craps on the clock tower. But let me tell you, that thing's a lifesaver.
Things a waste of money.
My guiding light. It was my beacon. And anytime that I had no idea where it was on campus, I would just look. It was my North Star. That got me back to my dorm every single night without fail.
To be honest, I don't like I remember I used to make fun of the clock tower last year. But for the first semester, I really didn't know why. It's just because everyone did it. And then
Mhm.
as I actually became like an Ohio State student by the second semester, I was like, okay, I get it.
It's a waste of money, but
Pretty big waste of money.
it was the equivalent of a compass for me.
Well, there you go. Even though you were in one of the biggest dorms on campus, though,
Let's just not talk about
and
that.
you were by the North Rec, so
Yeah, no, I was lost a lot of the time.
well, it happens.
Yeah.
All right, and then last question: what would your superhero name be, and your power?
Oh, geez. I mean, this is tough. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, I would want to read minds, or I'd want to do like, some or be invisible and be able to like eavesdrop." I would hate that because I don't want to know what other people are thinking about me. I don't
Sure,
want to know, I think it's, sometimes ignorance is bliss. I think mind reading would kind of suck. Hot take.
I would
My
agree with that.
I don't know. I really don't know what my superpower would be. It would probably be hmm. I Wow, this is super lame. I feel like this isn't a superpower, but I would the ability to do everything well. You know,
Okay, jack of all trades.
yes, to be like a jack of all trades, not really a necessary superpower. I mean, I think Batman kind of exhibits that. Um, but
That's fair.
the ability to do everything well would be super cool. But my name, that's really tough.
This is probably the hardest question I've asked.
Yeah.
This takes some creativity.
My instant response is making fun of myself. You know,
Okay.
like that's my instant response. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think, as you were building off of like the jack of all trades, um, I think that's so lame. Like Mara of all trades, that sucks. That's a bad answer. I'm sorry. I gotta leave you with that.
That counts. I don't know what I was expecting, but that's a really hard question.
That's really hard. What is yours? Give me
I
yours.
would not have one.
All
I
right.
have
Well,
no clue
exactly.
what I would do. Yeah, I ask the questions here. I don't answer them.
Wait, can we go back to the question about the narration? I also think Steve Harvey would be good. Steve Harvey,
Okay,
Ryan Reynolds, or Morgan Freeman, depending on. I think it would be like I'd wake up in the morning and choose depending on my mood.
that could be your superpower.
No, I still want to be a jack of all trades.
Okay, well, what can you do?
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers though. I guess.
All right, and then before we wrap up, could you just share a little bit about the impact PCT has had on you and why you think someone should rush?
Definitely. No, I could talk about this for days, so I try to keep it brief. I think, in high school, I was a part of a bunch of different sports teams. I was a part of student government. I was in so many different organizations and clubs. I had many circles, and I had, a huge sense of community. And when I went to college, I really lacked that. And I was really looking for that. And joining PCT has given me that sense of community and more. When I think, back to college, I will think of, PCT, but the reason I'll think of it is because of the people. There are so many professional opportunities that I've gotten from it, but the biggest gains and growths that I've gotten from it are from the culture and the amount of amazing people that I've met. I believe that you're a product of the 5 closest people that you surround yourself with. And I really would be happy with any 5 people in this organization, kind of, me being a reflection of them. It's really just an amazing group of individuals. And it never gets boring. It never gets boring,
I couldn't agree more.
for
It's
sure.
been an organization that's treated me very well, and I'm thankful for it.
Definitely.
But thank you very much for joining me today. It was awesome to get a little bit of insight on Mara beyond the resume.
Of
And
course.
thank you to everyone that listened. This was Phi Chi Theta's Beyond the Resume, episode 4.